Shalom, I'm Prophet Jonathan Bridges, and welcome to Building Bridges, where we not only desire to build people, but to build myself in the things of Yahweh, and to build bridges or connections to people all over the world. Well, welcome back to today's lesson. We're still dealing with why you so thirsty. See the face? And remember, I talked about this thirstiness, that it'll put you in a position that you'll forget all logic and all reason and allow your flesh pretty much to dictate to you to which direction that you should go in. Well, here we are on part 13. And as y'all always know, I like to give y'all prophetic numbers, my bricklayers, the people who are following, to listen on to this message. And 13 in the earth realm represents good luck, bad luck, or also known as good God or bad God. Good God, as they say. But this is a number that's represented in the earth realm. And it's symbolic of rebellion and also lawlessness. Now, there's no coincidence when you're dealing with this number that luck is associated with superstition. And when someone says good luck to you, they're attaching this with the hope that everything works out for you. And when it doesn't, it's attributed to it must have been bad luck. 13 is often represented or as seen as a number meaning hostility, rebellion, corruption, and Satan. Now, why am I getting into this? Not only because we're on part 13, but it connects to this spirit of Delilah that we're talking about. Remember on last week, we attributed her to being an embodiment of the goddess Artemis. Am I saying that right? Diana, right? Yeah. Remember we talked about that? Yes. Yeah, Artemis. I want to make sure I didn't mess that up. I have several thoughts going on at the same time. So Delilah is an embodiment of this goddess Artemis. And when we dealt with this last week, we knew that we were utilizing it to dispel that women couldn't be preachers. So this number right now is connected to what I would like to refer to as an effeminate female spirit. And it's not a coincidence that the number 13 connects us again to, as I said, good luck, bad God, good God. And Fortuna is the Roman goddess of luck. Representing fortune, luck, and fate. And look at this. So we're talking about an effeminate female spirit. When we're talking about Delilah, we're talking about Artemis, and we're talking about Fortuna. And it's important that you really understand this effeminate female spirit, because this is the spirit, come on here, that we were talking about. That's a monitoring spirit. This is that spirit that's listening to everything that you got to say. And what they're doing is taking this information back and reporting it to somebody. I want to really slow down and really deal with this. So this effeminate female spirit, come on here, we're talking about the number 13. 13, here's some fun facts. It appears 26 times in the Bible. There are 13 famines recorded in the Bible's history. There are 13 kings from David to Zedekiah who go into Babylonian captivity. This don't seem like it's all a coincidence, do it? Abraham, illegitimate son, Ishmael, was circumcised on the 13th day. Judas Iscariot has 13 letters. And when you think about Yeshua in the 12th disciple, he actually represents the 13th. And when you look at Judas Iscariot, he's likened to an antichrist. Am I correct? Think about that. So where am I going with this is that Yahweh is bringing us to a place in a season where we understand that it's him, come on here, and not these superstition, that is him and not these other gods, not the good luck God, not the bad luck God. I'm gonna get it out, or Fortuna or Artemis that's doing any of these things. According to the Bible, it says in Proverbs that Yahweh said that you can throw dice all day, and I'm paraphrasing the scripture, but at the end, God has the ultimate decision on what the outcome is going to be. So what's the point that I'm getting to is that we're not going to rely on God, come on here, as an happenstance for what's going to take place in our life, but we're going to lean on to Yahweh, come on here, so that we understand and know that he has the ultimate decision on what's going to take place. Now, I gave you all these things that the number 13 represented, all this bad luck, come on here, all this unlucky stuff, this rebellion, come on here, this lawlessness. But how many know that Joshua showed up? Come on here in the Old Testament, and it says that he walked around, come on here, he walked around that place, 7 days. Well, day 1 through 6, it said that he took the soldiers with him, with the priests, and they took the horns, they took the Ark of the Covenant, and they walked around that demonstration once a day for 6 days. And then on the 7th day, those same soldiers being led by Joshua, come on here, who ain't nothing but another form of Yahushua or Yahshua, salvation showed up and said on the 7th day, we're going to march around these walls 7 times. Come on here. And what does 7 represent? It represents the oath of Yahweh. So it's saying that when we do things 7 times, come on here, when we continue to do the will of Yahweh 7 times, the oath of Yahweh is automatically activated. And when it's activated, perfection is going to come. How do we know that? Because after they marched the 7th time, come on here, 6 days, once a day, plus the 7th day, they march 7 times equals what? 13. Come on, my mathematicians. Come on here. So Yahweh is saying he's going to take what the earth realm, come on here, what the people have tried to make a bad thing, and he said he's going to turn it around for good. Is anybody listening to me? I need somebody with a keyboard. Come on, hit that demonstration, because I know I'm saying something with some fire on it. So that number 13, Yahweh is saying that I am going to turn it around. Come on here. I am going to make an oath. Come on here. That perfection is going to bring about completion to whatever it is that's going on in your life, as long as you walk in his statutes. Come on here. As long as you walk in his word, and as long as you walk and follow his truth. Come on here. Only the perfect in spirit and in heart are going to be allowed to see the Father. So this is what the Father wants us to do. He wants us to eradicate and destroy this spirit of Delilah. Come on, Samson. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to the men. Come on here. I'm speaking to the women. We're going to eradicate this spirit of Delilah. We're going to eradicate these goddess spirits. We're going to eradicate, come on here, Artemis, that old preacher way of thinking, saying that women can't do it. Come on here. But Yahweh will use whoever he says he's going to use. We're going to eradicate also that spirit of Fortuna. Come on here. It's not by fate. It's not by chance. It's not by happenstance that things happen, but Yahweh designates and designs the path for all of us, and we must follow it. Are you listening to what I'm saying? And I know I'm saying some stuff that's full of fire here. And as I always say to y'all, don't be literary thieves. Come on here. Y'all know I'm saying stuff with fire. And I just had it in my spirit, and I shared it with my wife some time ago, that I just feel in my spirit that people would take what it is that you're saying and utilize it and not give you credit for what they used it for. Why is this important? When you become a literary thief, you're going around, come on here, feigning that you have come up with something that you didn't come up with. In other words, originality is a way of hiding, come on here, where you actually got your source from. So what am I saying this for? When you borrow something from me, all I'm asking for is for you to say, come on here, hey, bruh, I borrowed something from you. I thought that was heavy. I want to utilize that. And when you give credit to the person that you borrow something from, what you do is you connect the people that you're giving the credit to that individual that's carrying something heavy. But when you don't give credit to that individual, what happens is you work just like the Philistines were working with Delilah. It was to cut off and shut off whatever those people could have received from that prophetic word or what Yahweh had to say to them. Come on here. When you're a literary thief, you're stealing and passing off ideas as if they're your own ideas, but you're stealing from somebody else. Let's not be literary thieves. All right, my bricklayers. Come on here. My people, are you listening to me? Come on here. Now, my wife said something on yesterday, and I had to say it right now. When it comes to this word, we have to understand who our relatives is. And here's a quote that I'm finna drop on you right now. Your relatives are relative. My wife said this yesterday, but I'm remixing what she's saying, so I'm giving her credit for what she said. So I'm putting a remix on it. And when I say your relatives are relative, this means that it needs to be considered and judged in relation to other things. So what am I saying? Your relatives, according to what Yeshua said in the scriptures, when they said your mother and your brother is here, Yeshua responded to them, who is, come on here, my mother and brother. But he said those, when he pointed at his disciple, these are my mother and my brothers right here. Those who do the will of Yahweh, those are your mothers and your brothers. Come on here. So relative, come on here. Your relatives aren't just your blood, but it's those who are actually in the body and doing what it is that Yahweh desires them to do. So my brothers, my sisters, I love y'all. Come on here. If it wasn't for the blood, we wouldn't be blood. Come on here. I just came up with that. That's good. Yeah, don't steal that, literary thieves. And if you do utilize it, you better give me credit for it. If it wasn't for the blood, we wouldn't be blood. Yeah, put it in the comments, as my wife said. Come on here. So when we left off in the scriptures, we were still dealing with Delilah, and we were in the book of Judges 16:4-6, right? And let me read real quick. 16:4-6, Judges. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And we broke all of that down on the last couple of messages, that it meant to be dried up, to be empty, to be not equal, impoverished, made thin, languishing, right? So let's move on. Verse 5, and it reads, and the lords of the Philistines came up onto her and said unto her, entice him. Let's pause right there. So when we're speaking about Delilah, come on here, we're talking about this effeminate female spirit. But with this monitoring spirit that we're talking about, the monitoring spirit is there to listen to you, because it has to what? Report back to somebody. And when it reports back, this means that it's reporting back to another spirit that's higher up on the food chain that they're on. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So that effeminate spirit is listening and then it's running back. So what Delilah did, come on here, she was hired by the Philistines, this Philistine spirit. And when you look up Philistines, it means in the Hebrew to migrate. Oh man, we about to get into something real heavy here. So that Philistine spirit sends this monitoring spirit to go listen, because that Philistine spirit wants to get in that greater spirit, but the only way it can get it is if it's getting intel from that monitoring spirit. Are you listening and following what I'm saying? Come on here. So that Philistine spirit means to migrate. And what does migrate mean? According to www.dictionary.com, watch this. It's of an animal, typically a bird or a fish, watch this, move from one region or habit to another according to the seasons. Ooh, look at this. So what we're looking at right here is that monitoring spirit went back to report to this higher up spirit, because that higher up spirit wants to get in. Come on here. It wants to migrate into your life. And what it does is it is seeing that you're in a place that you're about to move into another season in your life. Come on here. Yahweh done promised you a lot of stuff. Yahweh said stuff is about to happen. Come on here. You done heard all these breakthrough messages. Come on, saying that your season is coming. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So what this spirit is saying, oh, you getting ready to move into another season, huh? Let me send this monitoring spirit over here so it can come back and tell me. And when it comes back and tell me, this Philistine spirit is going to show up. Come on here. Not only in the season that you in, it's going to migrate to that new season that you move in. Whoo, what's that, baby? Come on here. Come on here. That familiar spirit. Come on here. Familiarity. Come on here. So that familiar spirit, come on here, is saying, come on here. Y'all remember what that song I sang last time? My buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me. So come on here. So wherever you go, it goes. Come on here. Y'all know how the song goes. So this is what that Philistine spirit wants to do. It utilizes that monitoring spirit so it can move in to where you're moving to. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So it's saying to migrate, right? So look at this. Philistines, come on here. I had to dig this up on Quora.com. Philistines comes from the Hebrew Philistim, which is a word which means to invade. Look at this. The word Philistim is a plural form. Thus, translation for Philistim is invaders. They are a foreign tribe invading a land and is not native to that area. So what this Philistine spirit did is it utilized this monitoring spirit, this effeminate female spirit, to get in, to invade into your area. Where are you going with this, John? So what this does is it gets into your season that you're in, and what it does is it says, I'm going to invade your new season. And what are invaders? According to www.dictionary.com, invaders is an armed force that enters a country, region, place, or situation or sphere of activity so as to subjugate it and to occupy it. So what this spirit is saying I need this monitoring spirit as a vehicle to get me into whatever season that you in so that I can subjugate you. Come on here. So what a subjugate means, it means to bring under the authority or the domination or control, come on here, of that spirit, to make something subordinate to something else. So what this Philistine spirit is doing is using that monitoring spirit so that it can subjugate you and cause you to become a subordinate. And when you're a subordinate, that means that you're an employee, come on here, of the employer. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So this Philistine spirit and this monitoring spirit becomes your employer. Come on here. And now you're the employee. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So this subjugate is a Latin, come on here, comes from a late Latin, which means to be brought up under a yoke or forced to live in a difficult or unhappy state because of that thing or person. So this is what this monitoring spirit is doing, is going back and reporting so that this spirit can move into your, come on here, to your summer season. It can move into your spring season. It can move into your fall season. I know I'm getting the seasons out of order, but you know what I'm saying? And it can move into your winter season. So what Yahweh desires us to do, come on here, is to be led by Yahshua, come on here, so that we can march around this spirit, come on here, and we cause the walls, come on here, of falseness to fall from what this enemy is doing, and we can march in, come on here, and not become subjugated, but to take over and control the territory, which is our minds that Yahweh gave unto us. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So no longer are we going to allow, come on here, my bricklayers, come on here, those who are listening to this word and want the truth. No longer are we going to allow this effeminate female spirit to encroach or to intrude or to invade into our land. But no, we march around it. We make noise. Come on here. What are we hollering? We're hollering the name of Yahweh. We're hollering, come on, the scriptures to these spirits, and we're going to cause it all to fall down. I'm telling you, it all falls down. I hope that you enjoyed this. Come on here, because we're going to continue on. Come on here. As I said before, the number 13 in the earth realm represents bad luck, bad God, good luck, good God. But look here, good God, come on here. But God, as my wife said, only one Yahweh, only one word, come on here, only one testimony is given to us all. Come on here. And that is of Yeshua, that he died, come on here, for us, that we may live again. Come on here, that we may be relative. Come on here, and be relative. Y'all gonna figure that out later. So I hope you enjoyed this message and that you listened all the way to the end and that has blessed you. And we coming back next week with part 14. Come on here. We gonna keep bringing these numbers down. And I want to say, I think I'm the first. How many preachers do you know that made it to part 14? It's almost like a mini series. I hope y'all enjoying it, and be with me next week. Leave a comment in the comment section down below saying this message was fire or whatever you got out of it. Come on here. Down with the literary thieves. Come on here. All that, put all that down in the comments. Just want to let y'all know that I love you and I appreciate you for following on. Shalom. Whew.